thing with Fire Emblem is that I want to experience the story. I want to learn to love the characters in that particular game, and I just can't because I can't speak Japanese that well. I can't read Japanese that well. I think reading is the only thing you need to play Fire Emblem. Well, I'm saying speak Japanese, but you get what I'm saying. And it's not helping when Nintendo are being busses. What was I going to say? I was going to say bitchy wuss, and I was going to say wussing out, so I just came up with busses. I don't know, but you know, it's just, their localization is just horrible, you know? It's like they skip over games in the series. Fire Emblem has the potential to be one of Nintendo's top franchises over here, but they're just squandering all that potential. And the new Fire Emblem game that's coming out on 3DS, if it doesn't get localized here, chances are I'll never play it. Never, unless, you know, somebody hacks it and there's an emulator on PC, but that's not going to happen for like a year or two, you know? And why is the 3DS region locked? You know, I just find this so funny that it's 2012 and companies are still region locking their consoles, region locking their handheld. It's like, why? Why? What, for security, for protection? Oh, no, because if you're going to another country, we want you to buy another system. That's just more profit for them. God bless Sony for making the PSP and the PS3 region free, because there are loads of games that don't get localized, especially on the PSP, you know? But with Nintendo, the DS wasn't localized. I mean, it wasn't region locked. I was like, awesome, I could play Jump Ultimate Stars. But with the 3DS localized, not region free, or region... Ah, God, so many words. You get my point. There are plenty of games that the 3DS has in Japan that we aren't getting because Nintendo doesn't want to localize them and could have helped the 3DS launch. Seriously. But Nintendo, we're sitting on all these franchises and yeah, we're not going to do anything. What? Come on now, it's ridiculous. And you know, we have the 3DS eShop. Why can't they just put those older Fire Emblem games on there? Do what Sony's doing. Hey, Japanese PS Classics making their North American debut for the very first time. Instant cash grab. Nintendo and Square Enix really need to take a cue from Sony when it comes to that department. Because this is unacceptable, you know? Squandering potential to build a franchise, making gamers miss out on games, and this is why the games don't sell when you bring out another one, because people have lost interest in it. You know, the same thing with Tales, the Tales games. It's ridiculous, you know? I love the Tales series, but Namco Bandai is really screwing with the localizations. This could be one of their top series, but no, we're not going to localize them, and if we do localize them, we'll localize them after the fact, or a year to 2 years later. Really? Okay, that's good. Good business management. Great. Oh boy. Next question. Have you played Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker? As you guys know, me and the Metal Gear franchise, we just don't click. And it's not because I don't like stealth games, because I love Splinter Cell, I love Hitman, but something about Metal Gear just seems very boring to me, you know? Oh my god, you're a hater! But I did play the demo of Peace Walker, and I liked it. I thought that they did an excellent job for a handheld title. And what I really like about the Metal Gear games is that the story is what really intrigues me, not the gameplay, you know? Whenever a friend of mine beats a Metal Gear game and they're just like, oh my god, it was so epic, I'm like, yeah, awesome, so what happens? Don't tell me about the gameplay, but just what happens. It's just something that is so cool, you know? I love the story around it. It could make for great animated films, maybe a TV series, maybe a live action film, you know, who knows? But it's just, I can't get into the games, you know? I don't know. I do like what they're going for with Rising because it's made by one of my favorite devs, Platinum Games. And I think, from what I've heard about Raiden, I think that's his perfect game. You know, people are saying, oh, it's too Japanesey, it's too action-packed, this is not Metal Gear. Hey, geniuses, that's why it's not called Metal Gear Solid, it's called Metal Gear Rising. Even Hideo Kojima said he didn't know where he was going with the game. So they gave it to Platinum Games, and they're doing a good job at it because this is what Raiden is, you know? Of course, they're going to go a bit over the top because, hey, it's Platinum Games. These are the guys who did Bayonetta and Vanquish. But you get what I'm saying? Metal Gear Rising, not Metal Gear Solid. And even when it was Metal Gear Solid, it said lightning bolt action instead of tactical espionage action. So obviously you're going to know it's different. It's not Snake, people. Why is this something that is really offending others? I can understand that they say now it's taking place after Part 4, but he's still in the ninja suit, so it's like, lol, what? If it was a prequel, it makes sense, but Kojima said, oh no, we don't want to be limited by the story of, in between 2 and 4, you know? But then again, you look over at Square Enix and they told a good story in 358 while being limited between 1 and 2. So I don't understand that really. But yeah. Anime Manga EX wants to know, what movies are you excited about this year? I might have answered this question earlier on, I'm not sure. But when it comes to video games, you know the ones you're anticipating, like BioShock Infinite, like The Darkness 2. When it comes to movies, I honestly just wait for them to like hit like week before release and they have commercials. I'm like, hey, that looks pretty cool, I might go see it. Most of the time I wait for the home media release because, frankly, films aren't worth going to see in the theaters anymore. But mostly adaptations. I can't wait to see The Hunger Games, especially The Hobbit. The Hobbit is my #1 most anticipated film this year. And or if they're going to come out with a sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, hopefully David Fincher is going to direct it because he's David fucking Fincher, you know. Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara have signed on, so if it comes out this year, I'll be happy, but probably next year. But if David Fincher is going to be directing, I'll wait till next year. But as of this recording, definitely The Hobbit. The Hobbit, man, oh shit. I mean, it's got like all my favorite actors in it. All the guys from Lord of the Rings. Then you got the guys from Sherlock, Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch. Good shit, man. But we gotta wait till December, so. But it's Peter fucking Jackson. Alright, so, going on to the next page. This question comes from Alsto PG12. Who do you think Toby is in Naruto Shippuden? Who is really behind Dumbass? Okay, this is a question that sparks a lot of discussion. You know, you go on any video, who really is Toby? Who is Madara Uchiha? And for the first time ever on YouTube, I will be revealing my suspicions on who I think is behind the mask. So, get ready to link this out to everybody, because I think that, in my opinion, I've seen other people's videos on what they think on who Toby is, and I'm like, wow, that's really outrageous. But in my personal opinion, I think that the person who's behind the mask is somebody who is in the Naruto universe. Shocking, right? Shocking. Oh, I'm just thinking of the repercussions. People will be like, fuck you! How could you do that? But hey, trolling. Alright. This one comes from Ninja Higa 1998. Hi Neo, my name is Mustafa. Awesome name, bro. And I'm a huge fan of anime and cartoons from the 90s like Dragon Ball Z, Static Shock. Yes, another Static Shock fan. Jackie Chan Adventures, and Naruto. Anyway, I was wondering, why is DBZ Kai and Dragon Ball GT on air on the US Nicktoons, and Naruto Shippuden is or was on Disney XD? But it's not on in the UK. It's not on the UK branch. You know, because we only get the craps like reruns of SpongeBob and iCarly and Zeke and Luther. Honestly, man, I don't really have a concrete answer on why we get TV series that you guys don't and vice versa, because there is no concrete thing. My personal opinion from... Whoa, shit, the wind. From the experiences that I've seen, it all comes down to licensing. You know, if they feel that they can put this on TV and it's going to do good, they'll put it on the air. It all comes down to licensing, and it goes back to the Japanese. It goes back to securing a time block to air the show. There are a lot of things that are out of our control, and there are sometimes things that really we don't understand. You know, like I said, there's some things that can't be explained that they're trying to keep so secretive from us, you know? And I think it sucks. I think they should put on as much anime as physically they can. They shouldn't hold back. Which is why Viz Media chose to put Naruto Shippuden on Disney XD. They wanted to get exposure for the series, and rightfully so. I think it deserves it. Because, you know, anime needs exposure again. But if they could, they would put Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball Z Kai on air on the UK. But maybe it's something they can't do. I don't know, man. So that's why I can't answer the question fully. This one comes from MGPC 2008. Can you do a shirtless video? I've been asked like 6 times to do a shirtless video. And even on Blog TV too. Okay, I will give you guys an ultimatum. When I hit 20,000 subscribers, I'll do a shirtless video. Okay. And I know people are saying, oh god, no, I'm too straight for that. I don't want to see another guy naked on the internet. I can't handle it, so I'm not going to subscribe. like, I don't understand, why are people so, like, I can look at another man naked and not be turned on. And I can have a straight mind, because as long as I don't think about that, I'm perfectly fine with it, you know? Which is why, what's his name, Esper Review did a Q&A video, and he had his shirt off, and I'm like, you know what, after the initial 5 seconds, I'm like, yeah, you know, this is a pretty interesting video. So it's just like, when people, like with No Homo, people say, oh, I like this video game, no homo, and I'm like, well, why are you making such a big deal out of no homo? Are you that insecure about your masculinity? Because I'll say something, I probably said no homo sometimes, but after a while it's just like stupid. Are you really that insecure that you gotta say no homo after every single thing? Oh, I'm just sharpening my pencil, no homo. Like, really? I'm eating Skittles, no homo. I'm walking to school, no homo. Really, people gotta be so immature about things, you know. As long as I'm confident in my masculinity, I don't care if what I say sounds homosexual. I mean, really, it's all about what's up in here, what you think about it. So that's why you won't see me saying no homo a lot, except for that little segment I just did. So, yeah, and who are your characters that died in Mass Effect 2? Why do you people always bring this up? It's like you love to cause me torture. You love it. It's like a... Anyway, for anyone who hasn't played Mass Effect 2, as you know, it's an ever-growing story, ever-changing experience. You know, the decisions you make can affect what happens in this game, the next game, and there's sometimes decisions that utterly just change everything. In Mass Effect 2, there are, in particular, at the end of the game is probably the most explosive part. You know, it's the most adrenaline-pumping. It's just crazy. And some of your characters will die if you make some questionable decisions. In my first playthrough of Mass Effect 2, now this is the first time I ever played any Mass Effect game, a few of my characters died. You see, what I thought that you only had to do was recruit your characters, that's it. I didn't know you could go to each of the individual dossiers and upgrade the ship. I didn't know that till like afterwards. I'm like, wait, what? So when we were going through the Omega 4 Relay, I was like, damn, this must be a really intense ride because everything's all bumpy and stuff. And then we hit something, and then Thane, Spike came through and killed him. Why? Thane is one of my favorite characters. He reunited with his son, and they were gonna... his father isn't gonna come home. And then when we were picking people to go do the objectives, I chose Grunt because Grunt, you know, he was a big, strong guy. I thought he could hold his own, and we were going all good. We made it there, and then Grunt came, and he died in my arms. I'm like, oh, I got this 400-pound Krogan, and he's dead. Grunt! And then Jacob died. Oh, fuck it. But God, Grunt and Thane, I'll never forget you guys. So that's why when I replayed the game on my second, third, and fourth playthrough, I made sure no motherfucker died. I made sure every nigga got from point A to point B and back on the motherfucking ship. Rest in peace, Thane and Grunt. Jacob, fuck you. Anyway, oh, I just got a text message from Jared. Wagwan, bro. Yeah, inside story. Alright, this one comes from Holy Archangel Michael. What is your opinion on Batman Arkham City? Were you shocked by the ending? Batman Arkham City, like, my whole encounterment, my whole, like, getting Arkham City, you know, it was really weird because at first I was going to wait to pick up Batman Arkham City on the PC because I found a good deal for it. Then Black Friday came around, and on Black Friday I saw Batman Arkham City for 30 bucks, alright, and I didn't end up getting Batman Arkham City because they sold out right after I did a video. I'm like, oh fuck, maybe I shouldn't have waited. And so I went to go hang out with my buddies Anthony and William, and we had Batman Arkham City, but honestly, we were just too fun. We were having so much fun reminiscing, you know, and hanging out that we didn't get to play Batman at all. But what I did recently was on CD Key House, they had Batman Arkham City for $12. See, PC gaming, man, so cheap. They had it for $12, so I purchased it from there, and I have yet to play it because I just sent in my PC for repairs because something funky was going around with it. You know, I already had the RAM, it was going smoothly, but I just had to send it in. So glad I'm under warranty. So until I get my PC back sometime mid-February, because I just shipped it out a couple days ago, I won't really know how good Arkham City is. But I do know what happens at the end of the game, and I do know it leaves it open for a sequel. Strangely, but it does. But, you know, it was just one of the spoilers that just some retard had to put up. It's like, oh, this is what happens, headlines. I'm like, God damn it, leave it, stop it. No one likes, it's like the dumbasses that come out of like the next Star Wars movie or the next Spider-Man movie. It's like, oh my God, spoiler alert, this is what happens. And you know, like those people, shortly afterwards, they were followed out to their car, they were beaten, and then somebody peed on that guy's car seat. So when he thought it was all over, now your car is going to smell like my urine for the next 3 days. Oh wait, did I say I was there? Anyway. Yeah, because nobody wants that stuff to be spoiled for them. But you guys will know because the first video I do when I get my PC back will be a Let's Play on Batman Arkham City. I was going to save that for later. But on my backup account, Neo Game Spark 2, I'm going to start doing Let's Plays. First one will be Batman Arkham City, definitely. So you guys will see it there. It'll be a live thing. It'll be first impressions, first time ever playing it. So that's just an update for anyone who's wondering on Batman Arkham City. This one comes from Still... What the hell? This one comes from Still Cooler Than You. Yes, no matter what happens, you might get the hottest chick around, you might get the next Call of Duty game 6 minutes early, but no matter what, he is still cooler than you. His question is, out of all the North American anime dubbing studios, which do you prefer? Funimation, Viz, Bandai, Media Blasters, etc., etc., and why do you prefer them? Their dubbing styles, prices and packagings, or just because what content they choose to bring over? Great question, bro. I always can look forward to you to ask those thought-provoking ones. Yeah, when it comes to favorites, I know like some people have preference A, preference B. Overall, when it comes down to it, for anime, definitely Funimation, because I think Funimation is making all the right moves to make the anime industry stronger. I mean, they're going more towards the digital approach. They like releasing episodes across like all platforms. You know, they got that Funimation Elite thing going on. Partnerships with Netflix, you know, they're coming out with the save editions, all that good stuff that literally people have been begging for, they're doing. And man, just the quality of their shows has greatly increased. If you look at like 10 years ago to now, it's like, you would think it's a totally different company, and they're always bringing in new voice actors. We're getting great talent, so it's not just the same 5, 6 actors. You know, the script writers are really, scripting is what brings a series to life, and I really got to commend a lot of the guys over there, especially the ones who worked on Dragon Ball Z Kai. Like, I believe, who did the script for Dragon Ball Z Kai? Was it J. Michael Tatum? I think it was him. I'm not sure. It was somebody with like a 3-word Latin name. But yeah, they're great overall, you know, very, very fan-driven. And when it comes to manga companies, all the way Viz, definitely Viz. I mean, like Funimation, they're making strides to help the industry grow. They got the Viz Media manga app. They're still putting out series, you know, they're just trying a lot of things, but there are some things that are out of both their companies' controls, you know. There's some series that get dropped because they're not supported enough. There are licensing issues, you know. A lot of things that we don't know about, so I think people should educate themselves as much as they can before they start blasting their mouths off about a company. You know, it's like people were crucifying Funimation for not continuing Case Closed, but Case Closed, the anime, wasn't selling in the States. What do you expect them to do? Oh, just put it out there for the hell of it? No. Yes, while they are a fan company, it is still business at the end of the day. They have to get a profit out of it. And if they're not getting a profit out of it, they aren't going to continue it. I know it sucks for me being a huge Detective Conan fan, but, you know, business is business. It's the real world. You know, there are some things that we just, you know. But anime, Funimation, manga, Viz. Question 2. 5 most anticipated games of 2012. I think I might have answered that earlier on, but I'll do a recap for anyone who hasn't seen it. There are only like 3 genres out there these days, and a lot of games tend not to be innovative at all. They're mostly fighting, FPS, or RPG. Oh man, yeah, that is true. I mean, the genres of games that are coming out that people are talking about, they are sticking in their boundaries, not trying anything different. Innovation has really been lacking, and you know, there's just so much that can be explored in the JRPG genre, in even the Western RPG genre. And shooting games, as much as people like to complain about them, you still got games like Bioshock and The Darkness that are doing cool things, but it's just, those games tend to get overlooked over the next big multiplayer thing. It's just ridiculous. But Bioshock Infinite, of course, day one purchase. Irrational fucking Games for the win. Mass Effect 3, Kid Icarus Uprising, Kingdom Hearts 3, Dream Drop Distance. The 5th game, I'm not so sure because the Twisted Metal is good, and then there's still other games coming out towards the end of the year. So there are many games I want to see, but thanks for the questions, bro. Alright, let's see. This is from SuperCade15. What are some of your favorite games on the Wii, PS3, and 360? Okay, good question. I assume you're talking about exclusives, though, right? For the Wii, I think I've probably got more favorites than any because so many great games. Of course, anything by Nintendo for the most part, with the exclusion of the Wii-type games. I love Wii Sports Resort and Wii Sports, but Wii Party, Wii Music, get that shit out of here. The House of the Dead games on the Wii, Red Steel 1 and 2, Monster Hunter Tri, No More Heroes 1 and 2, Boom Blocks, the sequel to Boom Blocks, Mad World, Okami. So many great titles on there. Okami's not exclusive, but, you know, it benefited from the Wii port. And, you know, on the PS3, of course, most of the exclusives like Uncharted, you know, Little Big Planet, God of War 3, what else? Demon Souls is also one of my favorites. Yeah, so most of the Sony library I tend to like a lot. And on the Xbox 360, of course, Gears of War, you gotta have that Horde mode. Horde mode is so fun, I think. I think that's the best part. I think that's what they've improved on the most, Horde mode in the Gears series. Because multiplayer and story, whatever for those games. And then Halo Reach is my favorite Halo game next to Wars. You know, just Reach did everything right. You know, I just couldn't get into 3. I don't know. And then I also liked Tales of Vesperia. We're not getting a PS3 port localized here because of some BS things, either exclusivity or just, you know, Namco Bandai being lazy again. But like I said, there are great games across all platforms. It's just people have to know where to look. Not every game is good. They have to be overhyped. You know, a lot of games that come out, they go under the radar. They get unnoticed. Not everything has to be overhyped, people, you know. And not everything has to have a gun in it. All right. This one comes from Mark the Big Man. How long have you been into anime and manga? I could say the majority of my life I have been influenced by anime in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure exactly when I started watching anime because I know when I started getting really into it, but I've been exposed to it through like other medias. I saw like commercials from the really old giant robot shows. But how I really got into it was with Yu Yu Hakusho. You know, it was the early 2000s. Yu Yu Hakusho was on Adult Swim. And I at first thought, I don't know why, but I thought it was Tenchi Muyo at first. I was like, oh, this show looks like that thing called Tenchi Muyo. I'm like, no, it wasn't Tenchi Muyo. And it was the episode where they were traversing through Maze Castle, and it was Kuwabara versus Byakuya. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty interesting. And then it got dropped from Adult Swim. I'm like, oh. And then it showed up again on Toonami, and I went to Stop and Shop with my mom one day, and I saw a magazine that had Yusuke on the cover. I'm like, it's Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho. So my mom bought that for me. I started reading up on other series. I'm like, oh, look at this, look at that. You know, of course I had Dragon Ball Z to watch, but you know, that and Pokemon never really exposed me to anime, like, and actually got to know it. So it was Yu Yu Hakusho, and then that got me into reading Shonen Jump, which got me to reading other titles like Shaman King. So I could say, let me see, 12 years or 11 years I've been actively into it, but probably 15 years overall that I've known of its existence. Even when I was 3, people, I knew of it. This one comes from Goro Game Rain. Waffles or pancakes? Ah, man, I actually got a funny story regarding waffles, but I'll save that for Blog TV. Definitely pancakes, because you can do so much more with pancakes as opposed to waffles. Waffles are good and all, but pancakes! Pancakes! Okay. This one comes from The Devious. The Devious. What are your thoughts on the programming for the 3 networks geared towards kids? Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, and Nickelodeon. Honestly, I have really not cared anymore about them because I don't watch TV that much anymore. If I could, I would just cancel cable in my room because I have Netflix. I have other forms of entertainment to watch. But, you know, every now and then I would look back on it and I'd see some of the new stuff they have. And honestly, the quality, it keeps going down the shitter. Like, there was at one point I thought Cartoon Network was learning from their mistakes. I mean, they were putting out, you know, classic shows. They talk to me and they're like, you know what, dude, just put out these shows and then everyone will start watching you again. But it's just not. I mean, they're putting out more crappy shows. It's just ridiculous. You know, people like to say nostalgia is what's blinding people to enjoying newer shows, but that's just not the case. Shows were generally made with a damn in mind. People put a lot of effort into them. Nowadays, it's just crappy writing, crappy voice acting. It's ridiculous. Like, even shows like Ben 10. I honestly stopped giving a shit after like season 1 of Ben 10 Ultimate Alien or Alien Verse. I don't know. They got different subtitles now. But it's just ridiculous. Like, people are talking about Adventure Time and, you know, the regular show. I watched a couple episodes from them and, you know, they're decent programming. They're decent entertainment. The reason why people like to say they're so good is because we have a delusion in our mind that we think it's so good because there's just nothing else to watch. Everything else is crap. It's a common thing. So, Cartoon Network sucks. Definitely. I don't care what anybody says. They move over to Disney Channel. Need I even mention, like, I don't even know half of these new kids they have on here. And all of these shows that are geared towards music and all that stuff. You know, like, outside of Good Luck Charlie, you know, it's not the best show in the world. I watch it every now and then, and it's kind of funny. Outside of that, like, what the hell are they doing on Disney Channel? Phineas and Ferb is good and all, but really, that show is past its prime. Like, I don't even know. Like, this has even become something that the media has noticed. Like, look at the quality of Disney Channel shows now as compared to back in the day of, like, Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven. Shows were just generally better made before, like, the latter part of this decade, you know? Like, after 2004, things started to go downhill in terms of entertainment for all ages. You know, now it's just geared towards a certain audience, a certain demographic, like teeny boppers, like this craze, that craze. They weren't about making shows for everybody, you know? Now it's just about making shows for 3-year-olds. Now it's just about making shows for the teeny boppers, you know? Which is the biggest problem in shows nowadays. They don't have an identity because only a certain demographic will like it. You know, it used to be about making it for everybody, and everybody could enjoy it. You know, like my teacher back in elementary school, she would be talking about, you guys see the latest episode of That's So Raven or something? Because it was shows that were made for everybody. It's not just for this type of person. Boys could watch it and enjoy it. But, whatever. And then Nickelodeon, need I say anything else? So, it's just kind of becoming repetitive. Yeah. This one comes from SD Genesis. Oh, he's got a picture of Super Saiyan Bardock on his profile, which is another indicator that I still need to watch it. Got any advice for anybody starting up on YouTube? Oh yeah, this question definitely keeps cropping up again and again. People want tips on how to start their channel. You know, they want to do something similar to what I do. They want to do gaming. They want to do this. They want to do that. So as somebody who is a seasoned veteran, you know, I've been doing this for a couple of years, so I think I would say something on what I would recommend people do. I think that people sort of, you know, this is also towards the people who have started up channels and they've been doing videos for like 6 months. People think that they're not going to go anywhere if they don't do a certain type of video that is popular, you know. If they don't do this type of video, they're not going to get any views, nobody's going to watch it. And you know, the thing I tell people is just do the videos you want to do. Do what you think will be funny and worry about what happens later. You know, don't overstress it from the get-go because this is free. It's not like you're going to be living off of it at first, you know. That comes later on. Just do what you want to do and be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. I mean, it's great that you like to watch other people and you are inspired by them, but when you start copying them for wholesale like the irate gamer and doing a shitty job, it's not good at all. People want the real you. They want to hear your opinions of it because we have far too many clowns and we have far too many drones and copycats nowadays already flooding YouTube and flooding the top viewed spot, you know. So we don't need any more of that. We need more originality. And you'll get a following. You'll definitely get people who watch your videos if you are yourself, you know. And you'll learn things as you go along. This is a learning experience, you know.